Hey guys, Dev here for another race of the Apex Online Racing GT3 League. This is the final race of the season around Dubai Autodrome GP layout, so the longest one. I'm P3 for the moment with just over 2 minutes left in the qualifying session, so should be enough time to complete another flying lap, which I will commentate for you. 55.2 is my best. It's one of my best laps around here as we're going into turn 1 and 2. Very important here to not overshoot the corner because otherwise it will compromise your line for basically almost the full sector 1. So yeah, doing pretty good up until now. Here go way to the left. Unfortunately, I missed the apex a bit here, but that's not too bad. Onto the Little King and the famous turn 9, which leads into the back straight. Yeah, sector 1 is not one of my strongest points with the SLS, however, very nice sector time with the 46.6. Obviously, you may know, well, there are few overtaking spots around this track, but with the SLS, obviously this one is going to be a major one. As you can see, losing a bit of time. I braked a bit too early in the hairpin. Now, well, all the time I gained in the first sector is almost gone. Going wide here too, you see, I'm losing time. Compared to my previous fastest lap, I lose about 5/10, which is what I gained in the first sector, so a bit of a shame. But let's see how the final corner goes. Carrying as much speed as you can, hitting the curbs to help with the turning. As we finish our lap now, it looks like still an improvement, 55.0. Pretty happy with that. Obviously it could have been way better, but that's it. P3, as we are now into the formation zone, so at this point, yeah, all cars of the field go into a 2x2 formation and slow down to a speed of 50 mph / 80 kph. And when we come into the acceleration zone, the leader can accelerate at any point given. So hopefully we get a good start, don't lose any positions. And here we go. I think it's Jordan in pole. And yeah, Murphy already defending a bit. I'm trying to get a good tow from him. Possibly have a look down the inside at turn 1. He carries enough speed to make it stick. Looks like a relatively clean start. Didn't see any contact further out in the field. As there's McLaren, I think it's Samster going a bit wide in the background there. So I don't think there has been a whole lot of positions changes going on. Jumping now, I think it's just a couple laps later. As you can see, we have pulled up from the guys behind us and sticking with the leaders. They are about 1.5 seconds in front. And at this stage, Murphy has a pretty decent run on Jordan, which will set him up for an overtaking, possibly at the end of this race here. And for me, this is good. This is bonus for me because obviously, if they start battling, they will lose time. As you can see, we are already closing by a couple of car lengths, and Jordan going on the edge of the track here, but he managed to keep the position. We have a bit of a run on Murphy. Ooh, and Murphy, I don't know, maybe he braked a bit too late. He slightly clipped the rear of Jordan, which promotes me to P2, now with the good run on Jordan, so let's see if I can make a stick in the inside here. Actually, Jordan brakes and carries brakes later than me, which is pretty normal if he wants to get the outside line, and he managed to do that really nicely. So I'm just trying to upset his car, leaving him with no choice but to take different lines, a bit, pressuring him, because I know it's really hard to overtake a roof. They are strong on the corner exits, so I really need him to make a small mistakes or something. I'm actually pretty close, but mess up a bit the exit of turn 9, which will definitely compromise the whole speed I carry into this straight. Yeah, but the race is long. I'm pretty sure there will be other opportunities. Braking nicely here, hitting the apex. I think this is at the end of lap 6. Yeah, as I turn in a bit too early here, going a bit wide on that curve on the left, but managed to not lose too much time as I tuck back behind Jordan now for turn 1. As you can see, I go a bit wide there, and yeah, unfortunately I had a bit of a moment and Murphy was very close behind me, so we made contact and I got heavy damage against the wall, which is not ideal after 7-8 laps of racing. So at this moment I just need to crawl back into the pits. Yeah, I was wondering if it was a good thing to change tires. However, with the 6, 7, 8 laps of racing, I decided to only fix the damage and pit later on in the race. I knew definitely I couldn't do 30 laps on a set of tires. And with my race pace being strong, I knew a 2-stop strategy was not really that bad for me. We're joining now into P10, I believe, quite a gap in front. So this is way later in the race. I already took my second pit stop and I've caught up with the McLaren of Wizard. Should be... I knew from practice, I practiced with him. I knew the McLaren is slower than me, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get his position. As you can see, with the straight line speed difference, already catching up into him. Not going for the overtake here, just trying to enjoy the time. I will take my time with Giro, be patient. And yeah, this is one of my best mates on project cars, so it's nice to have a battle at the end of the season. As the sun sets, quite a beautiful sight, to be honest. And it's not as bothering at some tracks we had this season. I remember Snetterton. At some point, you just had in some corners you had the sun straight into your eyes. And it was like you had to guess a bit the braking points, turning points. That was awful. But here at Dubai, I must say, it is quite a beautiful sight indeed. As I touch a bit Wizard, yeah, he doesn't have much straight line speed, so just thought I would give him a bit of a bump to help him. No, staying behind him for turn 1, 2 and the sequence of corners. Yeah, at this moment in time, I'm thinking about, pressuring him the whole lap to set up an overtake at some point. Because Dubai is a track where there are many overtaking opportunities. So if possible, you want to make a move that your opponent won't be able to respond to immediately. So for me, that meant the best spots were actually in Sector 3. Sector 1, there's not really possibility for overtaking, you know, with the SLS brakes. I think down the inside into turn 1 is really difficult, as we've seen earlier in the race. Braking for the hairpin nicely, getting the car slowed down. Jiro actually misses a bit the apex, which will allow me to close even more. And I believe he has more tire wear than me, so I'm pretty confident at this point he can't hold me up for any much longer actually. Getting a bit of a tow here. He will defend the inside very early here. And yeah, I just tucking back behind him, because I know that around the outside here is almost impossible. There is so much more distance you need to travel. And indeed, still having a bit of a look down the inside here, he'll lift the space and getting the power down on the straights now. That's the move down. I believe all of it happened around lap 25, 26 possibly. And the next guy in front is Chaos Theory. At this moment he's 11, 12, possibly 13 seconds in front. With the race being 39 laps long, I had to really be consistent, and actually you see we've got up to him with possibly 3 laps remaining in the race. So yeah, actually at the moment P8. Obviously position is not too important for me at this point, just want to have fun. Chaos Theory is one of the best drivers in the GT3 Elite, very experienced. I believe he's been in Elite since season 3 or 4, and when I joined in season 5 and I started in Pro. But coming back to the race now, going for the inside here, braking normally, but I released a bit the brakes. I think Chaos Theory let me through a bit possibly, because I was very surprised. Well, you know, I have about the worst brakes in the class and I still managed to pull it off, so surely he must have let me pass a bit and hopefully take the battle to these guys in front. This is about 10-15 seconds in front. A huge scrap for P2 with Murphy, the roof we had contact with earlier in the race, leading the race at this point, leading the field. And we're following Sepple, I believe, in the Aston. And there is Jordan behind him, the Bentley of Toast, and ahead of him I believe it's Chirac and AD Ace, the championship leader, who will grab another championship if he finishes ahead of his teammate. The title if he finishes the race. So at the moment it looks pretty likely he'll get another championship. It will be his second in a row. Actually, Aid having a bit of a look on the inside, but as I said, it's very hard to overtake in Sector 1. Only thing you can do is pressure your opponent. Ooh, and actually he goes very wide here and Sepple capitalized on that, but no, this is insane. Aid comes back to take second spot. Ooh, actually Sepple goes very, very wide here, possibly missing the breaking point. I don't know what happened for him. But with the guys battling in front, and I believe it's the last lap as well. You can see they're just less than 10 seconds away. Now it's Dennis' turn to go wide. He loses about 2-3 positions in just the space of a couple corners, just to show you how close these guys are at the moment. Pretty sure they're all having a ton of fun. And there's an Aston in the background going very slow. That must be Seppel. Side by side through the final corners. No, actually Toast manages to pass Chirac for P6, I believe, or rather P5. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys a bit of a bonus, even if the sounds are screwed due to Project Cars replays. Yeah, it was a really close race, close battle, close season for some people. I had a ton of fun pushing every laps, and that was a nice way to end the season, obviously. A podium, possibly a win could have been possible. But I'm not gonna focus on that at the moment, as we had pretty fun race, I must say, with some familiar faces. It was fun, and hopefully I'll come back stronger in the future. Thanks for watching, guys.